The year was 1979. A gallon of gas was 86 cents and a Sony Walkman was $200. Michael Jackson had just released his breakthrough album, Off the Wall. It was the same year a scrawny but courageous 27-year-old United Methodist pastor was appointed to a 2-room country church in the village of Ginghamsburg, Ohio. His name was Michael Barrett Slaughter, and 90 people sized him up on that first Sunday. From his brazen mouth poured words of revival. If we wanted Billy Graham, we would have asked for him, the church protested. Carefully and courageously, teaching through the New Testament book of Acts, revival began to take root. Seeds of a recovery ministry here and a food pantry there. The cigarette burns on the sanctuary carpet from AA meetings only brought smiles to this renegade's face, knowing the real work of God had begun. Visions of thousands would flash before his eyes. There's never been a Methodist church larger than 1,200 in Ohio, they said. Searching anywhere he could for that bigger vision, the Reverend Slaughter would take notice of church parishioners whose hearts were strangely warmed. "Hey, come to my house tonight for real church," he would say. Authentic faith was found beyond the church walls, and more people were meeting in homes than that little country church could hold. So it was time to build. Offering more space for community worship, the new discipleship center also housed counseling services that would one day give away $300,000 of free care a year. Community services would annually support a new path for over 50,000 people, and hundreds of teens would mentor kids from at-risk communities in after-school clubhouses. Again, it was time to build. In 1994, with advancements in technology, came new opportunities to advance God's kingdom. The Reverend called for new wineskins, projector screens, and visual storytelling brought the worship experience to life. And the ripple effect birthed a church media reformation, transforming worship around the world. Traditional church is boring, this truth teller would say. Anchored by innovation and relevant teaching, the movement continued to grow. The Good Reverend was named among the nation's 50 most influential pastors in 2007, but kept focusing forward. Heart-stricken by famine in Africa, Mike brought forth a daring proposition. Whatever you spend on your family this Christmas, bring an equal amount to the hunger relief in Sudan. The miracles that followed set a precedent for churches around the globe. Christmas is not your birthday, he reminded God's church. The prophet could have stopped there, but believing the world can be changed one person, one neighborhood at a time, he ignited the relaunch of several dying churches in Dayton, Ohio. With neighborhood crime dropping and education on the rise, he set his sights beyond his own years. "I want to plant 1,000 churches by 2050, he said. In 2050, Michael Barrett Slaughter would be 98 years old. But perhaps the Good Reverend's most miraculous act of all is his care for the one. Never has he lost sight of God's most precious creation, each and every one of us. And so together, we trust that God is not done with Pastor Mike, nor is God done with that country church who'd all along the way laid claim to their high call and challenge to be difference makers.